Hello everyone, welcome to the 5-Minute Discovery channel. Dear friends, today we will explore the story of a special city, famous for being called the saddest city in the world. That is a remote area of Siberia, Russia, a land that has long been famous for its remoteness and harshness. This city is not only the most remote place in Siberia, but is also known for other titles such as the saddest city on the planet and the most polluted place on the planet. So why have such surprising nicknames? The legend of this city is not only about the harsh climate or the wild landscape, but also about the life and challenges that the people here face every day. The story of the resilience and perseverance of people living in such harsh conditions will make you feel interested and curious. Let's explore and learn more about this special city in today's video. This is an interesting journey, which will help you better understand the culture and life of these little-known places. Before going into the story, remember to like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Norilsk, a special Russian city, located far above the Arctic Circle, east of the Elise River, one of the famous rivers of this country and the whole world. With an area of only about 25 square kilometers, Norilsk is home to nearly 200,000 people, an impressive number for this small city size. Norilsk is famous not only for its coldness and remoteness, but also for its difficult-to-reach geographical location. This is one of the places where few people dare to come to travel or settle. With rugged terrain and difficult access, it can only be reached by train or boat from the city 65 kilometers away, and in winter the road completely freezes, becoming impossible. That's why not many people want to come here to travel, settle down or anything. In fact, there is no road leading directly to Norilsk. If you want to get to the city, you have to go to a train station or choose to go by sea from a city about 65 kilometers away. But in winter it is completely impossible because the water is frozen, and in such a remote and difficult to reach location, Norilsk people are often joke that they live in front of an island, and every time they go to another place it means they have reached the mainland, and it was not until 2017 that this city had a complete internet connection. Norilsk residents often joke that they live on an island, and every time they leave the city it's like going to the mainland. By 2017, the city had a full internet connection, a big step forward in linking with the outside world. The story of Norilsk is not only about a city with harsh living conditions, but also about the resilience and hard work of the people who live here. They are people who endure harsh conditions but still survive and thrive. It's an inspiring story and worth exploring further. Let's explore more deeply about Norilsk and its special features, a city that few people know about but has a very surprising and admirable existence. Norilsk, a special Russian city, located in the harshest geographical location. The climate here is the scariest point, with the average temperature during the year fluctuating around -10 degrees Celsius. What's more remarkable, the lowest temperature ever recorded is -53 degrees Celsius, just away from the Arctic Circle, 320 kilometers. During winter in Norilsk, the city experiences 2 months of complete darkness, with no sunlight, creating a very gloomy and cold feeling. On the contrary, in the summer, the sun does not set for 2 months, making the city glow 24/7. This creates a clear disparity in the daily lives of local people, as they have to adapt to these extreme environmental changes. These harsh conditions not only affect daily life but also have a profound effect on the health of residents. Even the average life expectancy of Norilsk residents is lower than the average Russian citizen, about 10 years. This shows the struggle and difficulty they face to survive and thrive in such a harsh geographical and climatic environment. Coming here, many people will wonder why it is so remote, and difficult to reach. Why are there still nearly 200,000 people living here? In the heart of the land buried under the harsh snow and ice of Norilsk, there are valuable minerals, especially rare metal ores such as nickel and palladium, important strategic materials for Russian and world industry. Norilsk, officially founded in 1935 during the Stalinist era, was home to hundreds of thousands of prisoners from the 1930s to the 1950s. With the purpose of exploiting icy underground ore mines, prisoners in Norilsk had to work extremely hard with a tight work schedule, about 14 hours a day, in harsh weather conditions, with low temperatures to -10s of degrees Celsius. This has caused many prisoners to encounter extreme situations, even committing suicide to escape this hardship. Rare metal ores. These are valuable metal mines. This is the main producer of nickel and palladium in Russia. The city of Madrid was officially established in 1935 under the then Soviet leader Stalin in the early 30s and 50s. Century ago, it is estimated that about 650,000 prisoners were brought here to mine the ores beneath this permanent layer. The prisoners at that time worked about 14 hours a day, and it was extremely harsh conditions, a difficult job. With the number of prisoners dying up to about 250,000 people, the prison system in Norilsk has closed and no longer allows foreign citizens to visit. However, efforts to exploit metal resources have transformed Norilsk from a remote wilderness into a developed city, but contains many emotional stories and the resilience of the people who live and work there. This, currently closed, and no foreign nationals are allowed to visit the prison area at Norilsk, possesses rich metal resources, and it has become a double-edged sword. Partly from each remote area flee the wilderness and become a city. The precious resources at Norilsk not only bring wealth but also pose challenges and debates about the value and meaning of mining activities. It is a story of sacrifice and trying life in difficult conditions, captivating and worth exploring. Norilsk, a forgotten city deep in the harsh Siberian lands, has become the world's leading precious metals mining and production center. As the huge numbers show, 1/5 of global nickel production and half of global palladium production comes from this land, where unexpected resources were discovered. Since mining factories sprang up like mushrooms after the rain, Norilsk has attracted hundreds of thousands of workers flocking here for decades. At its peak in the 1930s, nearly 500,000 workers from all over poured into Norilsk, not afraid of the hardships of the cold climate. However, rapid development and mass exploitation also left a serious negative mark. Each year, nickel mining plants emit more than 2 million tons of toxic gases and account for 1% of total sulfur dioxide emissions globally. Acid rain regularly wipes out the region's poor flora and fauna, and the 2016 incident that turned a nearby river blood red is clear evidence of serious environmental destruction. With the severe consequences of heavy industry, the average life expectancy of Norilsk residents is still less than 60 years old, much lower than the national average. The surrounding landscape, from animal beds to plants, is gradually burning and disappearing. The rate of cancer and other diseases in Norilsk is twice that of other regions of Russia, which is a fact that is hard to deny. People here not only face physical health risks but also psychological stress and anxiety due to changes in the day-night cycle and seriously polluted environment. Every day, life in Norilsk witnesses man's struggle with nature and himself. People living here have to make a living, working in harsh conditions to feed their families and support the development of the city. Norilsk, where life takes place under the storm of harsh climate and the devastating consequences of heavy industry. This is not just a city, but a challenge, a story about life and survival in the coldest land in the world. So why do some people still choose to stay here, despite knowing full well about all the difficulties and dangers? The answer may lie in cultural and emotional connections to the homeland, or simply in people's resilience and fighting spirit. Norilsk is not just a place on the map but also a part of stories about life and hope. Norilsk, where money becomes the reason for everyone's life and pain. With relatively high wages and employment rates compared to other rural and urban areas of Russia, it is not surprising that many people have left other places to make a living here. Life in Norilsk is not easy. With more than 280 days each year spent in freezing cold, and more than 130 of those days covered in snowstorms, the city's activities often take place mainly indoors. Summer is not a real time of rest, with polluted air making it difficult to breathe. People in Norilsk are often people who have to overcome difficult times or workers who have to come here to make a living. Some came hoping to make a bit more money elsewhere, only to leave Norilsk after a few years. However, not everyone has the opportunity to leave this city once they arrive here. There are local residents who once had the opportunity to leave Norilsk, but do not want to return. Life here, although harsh, there are also lives that are resilient in overcoming all challenges, working and fighting to protect and feed their families. That is the story of life and the enduring spirit in Norilsk, where life is not just about material things but also about resilience and hope. Join us to discover more emotional stories from this ice city. Norilsk, a story of remarkable development and the pain and destruction that humans and nature have suffered. This is not only a mysterious city on the world map but also an emotional, unforgettable and sobering story about the heavy impact of humans on our planet. Norilsk is not only a place where life is difficult physically, but also challenging in terms of living and mental conditions. People often joke that here, a few tomatoes or cucumbers are worth more than a few pounds of meat and fish in other Russian cities. To survive in Norilsk, resilience and tenacity were needed not only to overcome material difficulties but also to cope with a harsh and deprived environment. What's special about Norilsk is the way the city is built on permanent flats, making all the buildings stand on stilts and the entrances are high. This image evokes the imagination of traditional stilt houses in Vietnam, but in Norilsk, it is even more harsh and rigid. Norilsk is designed with underground paths so that sleds can circulation, while protecting people from fierce snowstorms. The houses here are built solidly like twin towers, forming a strong windproof wall, leaving only narrow gaps for the roads between. This is not only physical protection but also a symbol of human strength and resilience in the face of harsh natural challenges. This is a place where life and existence are not just a simple matter, but a challenge to overcome day by day. Along with stories of adversity and the strength of the human spirit, Norilsk brings profound questions about the meaning of life and the ability to overcome all difficulties. Besides, the people of Norilsk also have to face the threat of rare polar bears appearing in the city. Although not frequent, the times when bears roam the streets or even attack people outside urban areas are still a big concern. This is part of the harsh life in Norilsk, where both safety and human resilience always come first. And this is the highlight of today's story about the city of Norilsk, one of a place famous for its harshness in Siberia, Russia. Norilsk is not only a symbol of cold and remoteness, but also a testament to human resilience and strength in the face of natural challenges. Thank you for taking the time to care and follow this story. If you find it interesting, don't forget to press the subscribe channel button, turn on the notification bell and share to discover more interesting stories about geography and around the world. Every day, we will have 2 new videos aired. Take time to look forward to the next adventure. And now, I would like to say goodbye and see you again. Wishing you a good and energetic day.